Hello everyone, today I want to talk about Eminem battle raps and how to make every moment sacred. Hello, as promised in the intro, I want to talk about how to make moments sacred, and I want to use this through the vehicle of contemporary art, and one of those contemporary artists is Eminem. I'm a huge fan of Eminem and his ability to translate his childhood and his upbringing into verse. He's a shock rapper and says things that not many people agree with. In fact, a lot of things he doesn't agree with, but he uses art in the way it should be used, which is to confront the status quo and to get people questioning about, are things the way things are, could they be better or could they be different? So as always, I'm beginning with a quote, but this is a very special quote to me. This is a song from Eminem that was my favourite song for over a year, and I'm going to read from the last verse of that song, and that verse is, "That's why we sing for these kids who don't have a thing, except for a dream and a fucking rap magazine, who post pin-up pictures on their walls all day long, idolise their favourite rappers and know all their songs, or for anyone who's ever through shit in their lives, till they sit and they cry at night wishing they'd die. Till they throw on a rap record and they sit and they vibe. We ain't nothing to you but with the fucking shit in their eyes. That's why we seize the moment, try to freeze it and own it. Cause we consider these minutes golden, and maybe they'll admit it when we're gone. Just let our spirits live on through our lyrics that you hear in our songs, and we can..." The verse still gives me goosebumps, and in particular, that last part where he talks about we ain't nothing to you. No, that last part where that we seize the moment, try to freeze it, squeeze it and hold it. Consider these minutes golden. And I remember it hitting me and just going, yeah, like, isn't that the true nature of intense reality? Like, you have these intense experiences and you want to hold on to them, you want to squeeze them. And the reality is that they can't be held on, but they can be acknowledged as golden. And I remember thinking to myself, what are the golden moments of my life, and how do they come into my life, and how can I get more of them? So I really found that it was about creating sacred moments. It was all about, no moment was golden in isolation. It was golden because of the meaning I gave it, and I could give just very, very simple meanings a golden tinge by treating them as a sacred moment. So the way I did that was, number one, don't try to squeeze it and hold it once it's gone. The only way you can have new golden moments or sacred moments into your life is by letting go of the old. A classic example would be pining for an old partner that puts you in a depressive state, which means you ignore all the great opportunities that may come into your life. Letting go is key to evolved mindset. Number two, maybe they'll admit it when they're gone. That's a key line from that verse. You never know what you have, you only ever know what you had. Now that is a common expression. It is so true. However, when you become present, and you look for these moments, you look to embrace these moments, and you know that you'll never know what you have, only what you had, you can start to appreciate it in the moment. Quite often you hear people say 10 years from now we'll laugh about the situation. Well, I say if you know 10 years from now you're going to laugh at the situation, laugh about it now. 3, ritual preparation, getting ready in the morning. Now there's two ways to look at the world. One, that nothing is a miracle, or 2, that everything is a miracle. And I like to believe in the latter. Therefore, every morning that you're awake, you're born new. And getting ready in the morning, it can seem very mundane and you rush through it, but could it be worth maybe spending a little bit more time noticing the droplets of water hitting you in the shower, brushing your teeth a bit more mindfully, knowing that you're preparing yourself for a day in which you know you're going to experience things and you're going to be involved in the cosmos? I really think that getting ready in the morning can take on a whole new, opportunity to live and to be mindful when you see it is setting up your day. However, I think most people don't get that. They rush through, they're putting on their tie or they're getting a piece of toast, and in reality they could really start that sacred day through the ritual of getting ready. 4, once more into the fray, to live and die on this day. That great poem that I read in previous episodes. Treating each day and each moment as if it will be your last, and it will be your last. The old Greek saying, no man steps into the same river twice, for it is not the same river and it's not the same man, is so true. You will never experience this particular moment ever again. That's all it needs to be sacred. It doesn't need bells, whistles, yachts and music. It just needs for you to acknowledge that this moment is transitory. Therefore it should be appreciated, because there will never be a moment like it. Number 5, mindfulness. There is, you know how every cloud has a silver lining, that old saying? Well, it's true, but you have to look for it, right? You have to carefully look at the cloud to find the silver lining. And that's true of life. If you look carefully enough, the very, very boring bus ride can be incredible when you look at the textures of the leather on the seat, or notice that the shops that you're passing by, thinking about the individuals who live in there, or thinking about the communities and groups that you're traveling through. All of a sudden, that bus ride goes from being very, very boring to being incredibly sacred. And finally, number 6, your life is important. Knowing that, so many times I think we feel our life isn't important, and I want to illustrate this through Dostoevsky's Dream, which was written, a short story that he wrote. And basically, it was a story of a man who bought a revolver. The story starts sort of with him being depressed and sitting on his dining room table, spinning the revolver, thinking about shooting himself because his life was so awful, his life was meaningless, and his life wasn't worth anything. And before he shot himself, he thought he'd go out for one final cigarette. So he's out in the street smoking a cigarette, and thinking how worthless and how insignificant his life is, when a little girl pulls at his coat and says, "Can I have some money?" And she looked very poor, she looked very frail, but he saw the beauty in her eyes. He was, in a bad place, so he told her to, go away and scoot along, went back into the kitchen and put the gun in his mouth. And when he did that, he asked himself a simple question. When I extinguish this life that I think is so unimportant, what happens to that girl? Because if that girl is part of my reality and I'm creating this reality in this life, can I be sure that she'll be still here when I extinguish my light? And he couldn't. And he felt that he shouldn't kill himself that day. And isn't that just so interesting, that no matter how insignificant you think your life is, to so many other people it can be so important, and they want you to look after yourself. So you should look after yourself and treat every moment sacred. It's something to think about. You can live this life, like I said, 2 ways. 1, that nothing's a miracle, or 2, that everything's a miracle. And I like to sit with the team that believe in the latter. I'll see you tomorrow. Can't wait, and goodbye.